And holy shit, it has been 304 days since I last played RuneScape 3 on my account called The One Sin. It has been a year since Scape Talks Radio was actually a thing, and that we were putting shit out like on Groove Shark and actually doing shit on YouTube. It's been a long time since I last did this, and I apologize. As you guys remember, the reason why I'm in Edgeville is because the last Deadman Challenge happened to be for the King Black Dragon for Season 2 preseason. I said Season 2 twice, but what the fuck does it really matter? It does not really matter. So, a little bit about us, if you guys are new to the channel. I guess I got my Hall to Fame of most of my subscribers actually from the RuneScape community that I used to love and play. I still love the community. I just don't love the thing that Jagex is all about with the pay-to-win scale. It's just bullshit. I had a lot of fun playing it, but after the EOC, it kind of like just took its strain on me, and like with the falling out in between me and PC and Carl's, like we were the three people that were big that were actually doing this, and like we just life got busy. I ended up becoming kind of homeless actually. Carl's been, working for the government, and PC has been basically working on college, getting his 4-year degree, which he, last I checked, he's about to get this year or next year. He's going to go for computer engineering, and I probably will never go back to college. I cannot afford it, but all these people on my friends list, they have been with me since day one, 16 years ago, when I had stepped on the realm of Galanor. Pretty much all these guys on my friends list, except maybe a couple handful or a few of a handful, maybe like 3 or 4 people actually still play actively today. It's pretty depressing where our community got to when we used to be so proactive and friendly with one another, that one of the main contributors to the Gun of That Chamber happened to be, well, you guessed it, Wheel of Fortune, or as we now know it as, Treasure Hunter. Half the things on Treasure Hunter you can't even use in FTP. Sure, you get the bonus XP, but you can't use it until you actually go to P2P. And isn't that depressing? Now, what I'm about to say is, I guess, now open. I may not be playing RS3, but I do on occasion hop on to the old school RuneScape. In this case, I play a dead man. A hardcore dead man. Because you know quite things about that. It's pretty fun. I love it. I enjoy it. I got a few impressive stats on here. I actually ended up recording like quite a bit of some footage. So if you guys would like me to actually get back on here and stop playing it as a filthy casual that I am, I might be into doing some F2P weekly hardcore Iron Man update episodes. Of course, everything that I'm going to be working on, if you guys want that, is going to be extremely outdated. Like, I'm just going to be honest with you, it's going to be extremely outdated. But, I have a lot of materials to work with. As you can see, I spent some time on this account. I still have a long ways to go, but I would eventually like to max out to all 99s before I become a P2P on the old school RuneScape. I really enjoy it. So you guys go ahead and let me know. That is probably the main reason why I changed my YouTube channel to Re, because if you notice to the bottom left screen it says HC Ray or Re, and that's my legal middle name, by the way, if anyone was wanting to know. It was Re. It's not pronounced Ray, it's pronounced Re. Alright. First off, I want to point out that I've been watching a lot of Danyan Togia, who's been doing some pretty good guides and giving me some helpful tips and advice, as well as Ghost Delane, who's been giving me a little bit of a challenging edge, you could say, like a lot of interesting things that I could probably pull from both of these guys when it comes time to pulling out from bronze. Currently, I'm in my promos. I have won the first game and lost the second one, so I have one more game to go through before I could probably screw up and hopefully not get into bronze 4, but I'm hoping to get into bronze 4 so I can easily climb to bronze 3 and then 2. Hopefully what I want to get out of the season is not play like 300 bronze games last season and only went about 150 of those. And I still ended up in Bronze 5. I've been Bronze 4, Bronze 5, whatever, since like Season 4, it seems. And I've improved quite a bit. Like, I noticed the last couple of years I've been trying to play somewhat competitively and a little bit more smart and learning my game mechanics. We're going to pretend I didn't screw that up, but, I did anyway. I remember the first role I tried to play was top lane. I sucked at it. And then I moved on to ADC, and I sucked at it too. And then eventually I moved over to support until I could actually learn part of the ways to play League of Legends, or League of Legos that I would like to prefer to call it. I was really good at it, but I did not enjoy it. The ADC at the time was really, really, really usually generally toxic. And if it wasn't the ADC, it was the mid laner or the top laner that would end up telling you how to play your role. But it was actually up to the jungler, because the jungler pretty much has to know everyone's role, just about. And me being autistic and having Asperger's syndrome, some things are hard for me to learn, some things are easy for me to learn. I'm generally good at a lot of things. I fell in love with the jungle role. I was able to focus on my laneage, even though I had a lot of things to keep track of, like cooldown timers for various champions so I could gank, keeping track of their summoner spells that they burnt, as well as getting a good jungle cleared down. I had a lot of stuff I had to focus. There's a lot of stuff I can improve on that I probably will never be able to learn in this lifetime, but I generally do pretty decently. But of lately, I've been falling in love with the mid lane role. And as you can see, apparently I've been playing Camille mid. And she's supposed to be played in the top lane. I don't know. With that said, I did pretty decently in this game. I think I was at 5-0-1 against a freaking Fizz. And that's only because I roamed. The advantages of playing Camille in mid lane seems like there's quite a few. Yes, she doesn't have the walls like she does in top lane that she can actually grapple on, but she has the opportunity to roam to either top lane or bottom lane if she needs to, especially to invade the enemy jungle. She has that utility in her kit that allows her to do it, as well as the AD and the CC to bring it up. Eventually, I will maybe make a bronze guide on this. Speaking of my bronze guides, I know a lot of people have been watching them a few bit, and they're like, why the hell is someone who's been Bronze 5 for 6 years telling people what to build? I know what you guys are thinking. I'm like, I don't necessarily think any of the guides that I've made are actually really good. I think they're probably awful, but for a bronze perspective, they work pretty decently in bronze. I'm not lying. So, I do them just for fun. I don't do them for seriousness. With all of these in combination is kind of why I'm taking my YouTube channel in a different approach, away from RuneScape, because I still need my content subscribers. And I understand I'm going to lose a lot of content subscribers, and I'm going to gain a lot from switching to my genres. You do have to understand, when I started my channel on Shuji, it was all about various games, especially around the I almost said that wrong. TW2D. I really loved making the World 2D games. I did that for fun, back in my earlier transition before I added estrogen to my diet, which changed my voice quite a few. You can even go back and look at some of those videos, and you'll be like, who the fuck is this man that's talking? It's like, Jesus Christ, I had a British accent or some shit back then. Now I sound a little bit more androgynous than I did beforehand. It's pretty enjoyable. This game only lasted 15 minutes and a half, and they already surrendered. That's how good it was. So I'm really kind of keen with keeping up my tradition of various games of whatever I'm into, whereas trying to keep my subscriber base. So hopefully you guys are going to be able to tell me what kind of games you guys would want me to showcase or play or whatever on my channel. Because I only do this for fun. I don't get paid for this. I just do it because I enjoy video gaming. At some point, I would like to be famous, but you know, like that's not something I'm actually trying to be. I don't want to be famous. I just want to do this for fun and love it. I don't need subscribers, but I would love them, and I would love more video views, so I could remonetize my videos at some point. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Crypto Hearts 1 and Dungeon, Elder Scrolls symbol, kind of. Yeah, I've been playing a little bit of Elder Scrolls Online, and I know what people are going to say. Well, it's just like WoW or EOC RuneScape 3, so why don't you guys play that? And I think part of it is because I'm so used to those concepts that I don't like them in classics that I grew up with. Because, you know, I played RuneScape for 16 years. So for me to go back into never mind that. Back into RuneScape, it would be really hard because I don't like the action bar feel. That's why when I did the Dead Man challenges, the only way that kept me playing was playing it on Legacy Combat. The only time I ever use EOC is when I'm actually training Slayer, because that's really the only way to train combat anymore. But adding in the challenges made it kind of seem fun and a little bit difficult at times, which I enjoyed. The only time that else I used the combat for EOC was playing the newer updated dungeons where I had to do PVM like Bandos and Zamorak and whatever those are. So, but the thing about Elder Scrolls Online is that it's still in the Elder Scrolls theme, genre, world, whatever you want to call it, but it's completely different from a genuine Elder Scrolls game such as Arena, Daggerfall, and freaking Morrowind and Oblivion and Skyrim. And it has an action bar feel to it, but it still maintains the RPG aspect in this MMO. You know, it's a classic theme of Dungeons and Dragons. You have a class, you have certain skills and abilities that are within that class, and then you have a role to fulfill in that dungeon with a group party of 4. It was just that whole traditional aspect which got me to play Elder Scrolls Online, and I only play it on the PC. I don't have an Xbox One or PS4, so I played on my beefy computer, which has a 1080 in it, which I got from a good friend of mine, because she actually ended up buying 2, and she actually only really needed 1 to play Skyrim. So I still have my old GTX 660 sitting around, which I could actually use for a NVIDIA, like, what is it, like the physics or some shit like that. I don't really know how to go about it. And this is a game that I play in my spare time, which I enjoy. And I guess in a way why I can enjoy it is because it reminds me of a game that I once played called Fury, which was made by an Australian software company known as Aron Games. And in the way of how it's like that is that in Fury you had this Fury bar, this rage bar similar to like WoW Warriors, you know, World of Warcraft, Warrior class, whatever. And so that you would fill it up by attacking, and you could re-drink potions and shit like that, I believe. And all your spells and your abilities were like instant casts, depending on how much fury you had. So you could constantly spam every single ability, kill somebody in PvP so quickly, and drink more potions than actually kill another person if you actually could time everything correctly and were powerful enough to react quickly. This game only lasted like maybe like 1.8 years after release. There's a lot of questions and answerings why it just was doomed to fail from the start. A lot of people loved it, but I didn't play it too much to really get into why it failed or remembered. So specifically to this game, I play this in my off time in between leagues so I can like unwind. I also play Minecraft, which also helps me relax and unwind and reset my body from feeling tilted when I play ranked games. Even when I'm on massive tilt, I can still like do a dungeon run as a sorcerer tank. In fact, actually, I looked it up and I think it's about like 3.5% of all the tanks within this game are sorcerer tanks. It's a class. Most of the tanks are actually how you say Templar and Dragon Knight? And because of the Morrowind release DLC, well, Wardens have kind of went above both of those. So those numbers could easily go up and down in between when coming to run veteran dungeons as well as trials. So sorcerer tanks might be much more smaller than 3.5% of the gaming population that's on this game specifically. What's most rare about it is that I'm not playing an Argonian or a Redguard or an Orc sorcerer, which has better stats for tanking. In fact, this is actually my Breton sorcerer. I only have one level 50, and it happens to be a level 50 sorcerer tank. When I split out my stats, and I have 4 into magic. I have 30 into health and like 30 into stamina, somewhere around that. I'm pretty sure that's close to accurate how I evened out my distribution. So I still have a good enough health as well as a good enough stamina, but I have hardly any magicka, which is probably gonna play a little bit differently when it comes down to running trials, because I'm gonna have fewer mana to cast my I don't even remember what they're called. See, I'm so half tired. I haven't really played Elder Scrolls Online in a while, so I can't remember what the rune is called. It's called Dark Exchange or something like that. So like what it does is it uses up my mana and regenerates my health and my stamina. Dark Deal. Is it Dark Deal or Dark Exchange? I don't remember. So the thing about this game though is that tanking is almost near impossible. You only have 2 aggro abilities, which is called Inner Fire, and then you have this Pierce Armor, which produces aggro. So the challenging aspect to running these is that you need really high damage dealing players who can kill off aggro while your only job is to focus on the tank. And the purpose of having like all of that stamina is so you can block. I don't block a whole lot except on champions that actually do a lot of damage. I just prefer to like stab them down to death and use my abilities to keep my aggro up. In all reality, this is not exactly how tanks are supposed to work. Which I realize that because I'm still learning the game mechanics of tanking in Elder Scrolls Online, which is really difficult. So because of that challenging aspect to this game, it's really enjoyable comparatively than playing World of Warcraft, where you have aggro down like the back of your hand. Especially how everything is so well done made. The graphics engine is completely so much like better than it is on WoW. Like if you think about it, like 2 different games have 2 different graphic engines because they're built on different types of code. But the way that they design it and how they color and texturize the whole map, I honestly love the graphics that are in Elder Scrolls in any other game that's out there. I haven't really delved too much into WoW except maybe back in 2012 to 2015, 2016, when, you know, Cataclysm and Wrath of the Lich King and Burning Crusade were around. Actually, Burning Crusade happened in like 2006, 2007, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. I'm rusty because I haven't really played much WoW, but I was playing during Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King, as well as a little bit of Cataclysm. I kind of quit playing that game because like I couldn't play my full Shakaden after Cataclysm. Like it just kind of went downhill after Pandaria. Actually, you could play a Shakaden in Pandaria, but when it came down to Warlords of Draenor, they fucking took that away. And when I was playing a Shakaden, I still out DPS'd a Warlock and a Hunter, which was really good. And these were players that knew how to play the class, but I just upscaled them beyond disbelief. But I had no sustain, which is why it's not a viable option. And, you know, knowing Blizzard, they're kind of like cutting back everything. But with Bethesda and ZeniMax, it's like, sure, here's a class, do whatever you want with it, and that's how it works. That's the part of RuneScape I love. Like, you could do anything, choose whatever you wanted to do, and you could still do anything in content, as long as it was a viable option. So in Elder Scrolls Online, you can still tank in trials and veteran dungeons as a sorcerer tank, but it will be very difficult. In the long run, you're going to have to fulfill a DPS role or a healer role, and I don't think that's going to happen. So I'll see what happens in veterans. If I do well in veterans, I'll keep doing sorcerer tank. If not, I'll have to respec everything on my sorcerer, go for ranged DPS. I hope you guys really enjoy these kind of videos. Do let me know in the comment section below what you guys would like to see in the future. If you would like to see some Elder Scrolls Online content, or more League content, or old school RuneScape content, go ahead and let me know. Do not be afraid to slack that big fat like, as well as subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. I enjoy your company. Hope you enjoy me. I'm sorry I'm so annoying. But I can be funny at times when it comes to not having to do these update videos. And as always, in every other video, keep on skating.